Well, once again, like I always do, I have to repeat a video that I've done after I realized I didn't have the microphone. Good morning, and hello on a Saturday. Hope everyone is doing well out there. That last video I did, which is dateable, y'all. I had one of the worst times trying to create that video. I had a lot of inflammation going on in my sinuses and stuff. I went to an ENT doctor and he said, ma'am, he said, you have so many allergies. So many allergies. It's very difficult for people like myself, kindred spirits will understand, to adjust to all of the different chemicals and irritants here on the planet. Now, it may be just because of my location where I am, here right now. Like I said, it's a lot of airplanes and stuff flying overhead in the city. And you all know how that goes. A lot of people in the city, well, they want to get rid of as much of the population in the city as they possibly can. That's why it's best to stay in the outskirts, which I really stay in the outskirts, but they're gonna go out a little bit to the adjacent cities too, and hit those too. You know, some areas may receive more of a concentration than others, but like I said, there's a lot of planes flying around at night, man, flying poisons around. Friday night is when the mosquito truck comes. So on Friday, well, really Thursday and Friday nights and Saturday nights, you're going to see me really stopped up because me and the mosquito truck, we don't get along. We really don't. So a lot of the times you'll see me really clogged up. The doctor was showing me, the ENT doctor was showing me on the MRI. He said I should have that much space here in my nasal passages going up here. I am restricted to about that much. Imagine with all of that going on. And this matter of fact didn't hit me until I moved back to Birmingham in 2008, because I moved from Carrollton, Georgia, where the air was a little bit more cleaner, and I never had severe sinus inflammation until I came here. But anyway, I'm wasting the video. But I really wanted to, kind of like talk to you all about that, because I had a few people that said I really couldn't understand what you were saying. I think that was the video. Not sure. And then on one of the videos, I forgot to use the mic. So, pardon me. So I have the mic here now. So let's get to talking about what we need to talk about. This is going to be a very random video. Just going to be talking about whatever I want. I'm random. When the spirit hit me and I want to talk about a certain subject, I'm going to talk about it. I really am. I'm going to do it. You know what? Excuse me. I like in the last video I got to talking about this, the one I put in here and had to discard because you couldn't even hear me talking. It's just really time for a new computer. Because when I first got the Samsung, I was loud and clear. I didn't need a mic, but over time, these things get obsolete. I think that's what's going on. But I got into talking about black people here in the South and hoodoo magic, folk magic. I was kind of touching bases on that subject, concerning this particular race of people, which I myself am black, as you can see. But what I was talking about is the lack of being able to connect. And the only reason why I'm talking about black people right now is because I live in a neighborhood of black people right now. So, and that's the only reason, just feeling almost isolated in this neighborhood that I grew up in, that I've returned to in 2008. because they do not seem to really understand what's going on. I misunderstood. Um, a few of them have come to my home in 2008, and I have not let any of them in here anymore. And they know I have dolls here. They know I make spirit dolls, and they can see the candles and stuff set up and everything. So I got a feeling they can feel it. But since then, it's just like maybe some gossip happened, and when I come out my door, whatever, it's like complete silence when I come around. And even in some cases, I can hear a little bit of like snickering and some little comments like, she thinks she's something because she got all those flowers up there and plants and she didn't do that. Somebody else did. Just crazy comments. I mean, from complete strangers that may come and visit some of the neighbors. So that lets you know that the neighbors have been talking. But I don't really have any major problems with my neighbors. But, it's most of the older people here, older women here in their 70s that have company, and the company is the one that talks. So I talk about black people. I'm talking about black people right now when it comes to root working and magic. Now here, where I am, if you say, oh, I've gone and talked to people about my spirit dolls. Oh yeah, I make spirit dolls. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll look at them and say, "Oh God, what is that?" When they see my dolls, that right there look like voodoo, girl. I'm just talking about some of the black people around me, but I can't speak for all black people in Alabama. So by no means am I talking about all black people, because I've noticed that south of Birmingham, as you go further down to Wetumpka, Alabama, Lowndes County, uh, Montgomery, and those places like that, it's kind of like when you get to talk about root work, it's kind of more acceptable because most of your spellcasters are in the South, and that's where I'm from. And when I say in the South, I'm talking about in the south of Alabama near the Gulf, because that's where I'm from. So, but I'm here like a fish out of water. I'm up here in Birmingham, and it's really difficult up here for me. I'm not trying to move right now, but sometimes I think a move is in the making, because it's just like it's getting kind of I feel like I'm almost becoming a recluse here, because I really can't share myself with anyone here, because it's hard for me to be anything different than who I am. It's almost like I have to be a different person. I have to put a disguise on or a mask on to be able to, you know, um, socialize with these people. It's not worth it. You know, it's not worth it, because I'm so comfortable in my skin. But I don't have any trouble with my neighbors, thank God. They respect me and everything. But I have noticed that I had some little brown spots in my grass the beginning of this year. So I'm like wondering now, where are these brown spots coming from? Because I did a video talking about those little brown spots. But we kind of got an idea that it may have been the people spraying the grass and stuff around here. We have like a lawn service that comes out and spray and everything. I think they were a little bit harsh on the grass, but don't get me wrong, it was really beautiful last year. But they changed. Um, this worker was a new worker that started working on the grass, and some people just don't have a green thumb. Some people when they touch things it turns to gold. Some people when they touch things it decays and it dies. Okay. So I kind of think that's what's going on with that last guy that did my yard, but I told him don't come back for a while. I got to debate this because he was thinning out my lawn. It was not looking good at all. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So here in Birmingham is it's when you get to talking about Southern hospitality, it's really not in Birmingham, and it may be because there are a lot of people coming from all over the U.S. to Birmingham. So we may be losing our Southern hospitality to a lot of Northerners that's coming around, and people out west or what have you. Nothing against people from the North and the West and everything, but A lot of the people up in the north do not understand the culture here unless they were raised here. It's not uncommon to walk around up north and have your head in the air, looking up in the sky and not paying any attention to the people that are walking around you. That may be a culture up there, but here, I mean, it's like we pass by each other, we speak and we talk to each other. But I'm noticing that that is not what's been going on lately. Anyway, so dealing with, and I want to talk about black women here in Birmingham. I'm not talking about any other black woman, but here in Birmingham. Because like I said, I've gone to Wetumpka, I've gone to um, Bullock County, Lowndes County, Whitehall, and I've met plenty of people, and they have no problem. No problem at all with hoodoo magic. You can sit down and have a full blown conversation, honey. And them old wives will sit down and tell you what they know, what grandma handed down to them. But in Birmingham, oh no, everybody trying to be cityfied. Oh, don't talk about that kind of stuff. So, don't nobody, black women, don't get offended with me if you live in anywhere outside of Birmingham. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm really talking about this place right here and how they act. So, they can't deal with it. They cannot deal with it, honey. If it don't have anything to do with the church and serving the law, you better run and get away from them, honey. There's been some times when I've had my spirit dolls. This is when I got back home and I was so excited about them and everything. And to me, they were just dolls. I had this young lady that I used to talk to, and she would look at the dolls and she said, "Those are really nice." She said to me, "They're just dolls." But her company came by and I had the doll with me. And when her company came, they were telling her that she needs to be careful because that's voodoo. And one girl picked the doll up and hurried up and threw the doll to her husband. This is over this young lady's house, and he was like, "Oh, I'm straight. I don't want to touch that. No, no, Now, actually, they were from Detroit, so I'm gonna have to throw a little bit of Detroit in here. I'm not talking about all the majority of Detroit. It's just this couple from Detroit. I was really shocked. I was really shocked. They were like, "That's a voodoo doll," and it's crazy. Just because the doll was dark skinned and had woolly hair, they were like, "This is a voodoo doll." And it's like with some of the people in the African American culture, if the doll is not a fair skin, then it's evil. And I want to talk about this and this situation in our community. I really would like to talk about that, because fear has been placed upon the races of people in the African American culture, somewhere probably during the 17 and 1800s when we came here. Because at one time the spirit religion was our religion, and now all of a sudden, we are afraid of it, and the fear may be imprinted in the DNA because a lot of them may have been whipped, and you pass that imprintation down to one generation to the next, so a lot of the fear could be innate, you know. But it's really difficult, when I'm here, and I'm living my life and I'm not trying to hide my lifestyle. I'm a gardener. I put my plants out. I love them. I kiss them. I touch them. I talk to them. I don't feel like I have to change and do anything differently, and then they look at my plants, and the flowers proliferate, and they're like, she's using some kind of black magic. You'd be surprised, and so they have their eyes glued on me. So I'm just talking about the black culture when it comes to root working here in Central Alabama. I don't want to talk about down south because, folks have driven from down south and they've come for readings and stuff. It was no problem at all. No problem at all. But very few here, very few will acknowledge it. hmm It's funny because down the street I see there's a house on the highway and it says psychic. And I was like, wow, they are taking a chance. Psychic here in Birmingham? So it ought to be interesting what happens. Haven't seen any cars around that place. Haven't. I thought about going over there and just seeing what's going on, you know, to kind of get to know whoever he or she is, see how things are going. Uh Here, when you here in Birmingham, honey, and you're a woman, you got to go to the church. Oh, that's the only way you're going to get you a man. You got to tell that man you're a God fearing woman. It's so interesting, though, when you're dealing with the church and stuff, and the women in the churches, because the women give all of the funds to fund the church. She does. She really does. I said out of 100 people and members in the church, six of them are men, and they control everything. They control everything. It really works. Submission really works in the church. It really does. Women have no problem donating and supporting a system that oppressed them in the church. That's why you have one on every corner. You come to the black community, honey, you got about, in one neighborhood, 15 churches. I mean, it was interesting when I saw what the tornado did on this particular street. There were three churches lined up next to each other. Bam, bam, bam. Right next door. And it was crazy because one was flattened and the other two right beside it was still standing. But I mean, I just really just brought that up because it's interesting. You got three churches sit side by side. But when you're looking for a black business, you can't find one. You can't find a black business anywhere around here. So I'm not prejudiced or anything, but I'm just talking about a problem in the community. Too many churches, no black businesses. Seems like something is not balanced. It's off kilter some kind of way. And all the churches do is to keep women from, embracing their true goddess power. That's all it does. And it's so crazy because the women are always looking for recruits. Now, I'm not talking about all black women. So, black women, y'all know I'm y'all sister. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not at all trying to bash us or bash you all or myself, anything like that. I'm just talking about my community right here. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's crazy. It's no balance here, and the women are always constantly trying to recruit you and get you up in the church and persuade you, manipulate you. I was talking about that lady across the street, big old woman in her 70s. When I first got here, she would bring out these big old huge hats. Vanita, look at these hats, because Southern Belles just love big hats down south. And they wear them to church. And they would have all kind of stuff on them, like big, huge hibiscus flowers and, big, huge sunflowers on them and fruit baskets and all kind of stuff. And they're crazy about their hats, honey. And, you in order to prove your value, your worth here in Birmingham, oh, you got to say that you're a strong believer in the Bible, in Jesus Christ. Oh, you got to do that, honey, to be accepted. I'm coming with part two. Y'all just wait.